Yes, you are welcome here. I know that you came in here because you saw that you needed to deal with screen time in your parenting. My name is Wendy Ologo, and I'm called Africa's number one parent coach. I'm the founder of the Intentional Parent Academy. You're welcome. You're going to be learning 10 things that can happen when screen time is not managed the way it should be managed. And I would also give you 10 solutions. No, I won't just leave you here. This day on, you will find solution. One thing that I have learned over the years about screen time is that a lot of parents do not even understand what screen can do to the brain of a child. One thing that you know is that screen is excessive screen. It's not advantageous. In fact, it is said that any child less than 2 should have no business with screen. People say, oh, but my children, they are not from the screen. The skills that your children will need to learn to become that person in the 21st century is not on the screen, it's on the streets. So what you need is skills on the street, not on the screen. I'm going to also be sharing with you in 24 hours a particular book of mine called Screen Time Addiction. How much is too much? I'm sure you're listening to me now, you're wondering, so how much is really too much? What are we really going to do? So I am going to be sharing with you. So make sure that you check your emails in 24 hours. I am particularly excited. Number one, screen time reduces attention span. Boom. Yes, you know it. You have your children, they are everywhere. They're just, jumping up everywhere and all of that. Or you even have your teenage sons or daughters always in that earpiece. And you say something, they're not just hearing you. Oh, you say, oh, anytime my child is watching Coco Melon, they are able to eat their food better. What you're doing is that fast-paced content on screen shortens attention span. It doesn't increase it. Now, it makes it harder for them to focus on activities outside of the screen. Now, yes, when the screen is on, you see them with rapt attention. But when it comes to their schoolwork, the chores, the family conversations, they are lost at it. A few days ago, my husband met with a young man who came to the hospital with his dad, and then he had earpiece on his phones, on his ears, right? And they were having a conversation, and he said, "I watched this young man for like 2, 3 hours. He didn't join any of those conversations because apparently he was lost in his word." That's one of the things that happen. Now, what is the solution? One of the things that you want to do is set daily screen limits. Encourage activities that require concentration, like reading, puzzles, designated screen time free areas, or even screen time, times, right? Like during meals, before bed hours, help your children build focus by creating a system for a media plan in your home. One of the things that we do in the Intentional Parent Academy is to teach parents how to create a media plan. I'm sure that you want to create one. All you need to do is simply say yes. Write in the comment. I will show you how you can create a media plan. Number two, increase moodiness and irritability. What is the problem? Overstimulation from screen can actually affect your mood. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It can affect your mood, making children more irritable, especially when asked to turn off their devices. You find out that children are more, you say, "Can you give me that device? Can you stop?" And then the child gets angry. Does it happen in your home? Yes. Are you on that table? If you are, let me see your comment right there. One of the things that you want to do to deal with this is to encourage and create schedules that include regular breaks from screen, be it physical activity, outdoor play, as it helps to regulate their mood and their energy. Number three, there's decreased physical activity. What happens? Now you find out that these days children are stuck on the screen to the point that they don't really move. Now obesity have actually become a thing. Now, screen time replaces active play. Play is a key factor in a child's life. It was found in a research that children who played less are more prone to suicidal thoughts than children who did. So, play is a key aspect of a child's life, but screen time is rubbing that off. And of course, that is really becoming a problem. And screen time replaces these activities, it contributes to sedentary lifestyle, which can now impact your health and also your mood. Now we're having more obese children than we ever had in any generation. What do you do? Balance screen time with physical activity. Try family activities like walking, like biking, like sports, I am a mom of two teenagers who are going to be 15 in no time. One of the things that we do in our home is that we actually incorporate bicycle riding, ensure that we are out there. We are constantly doing things that is just not on the screen. That helps us. Make it a rule that screen time is something that they actually will need to use purposefully. Most times when we're watching screen, we're probably watching a documentary or watching a movie recommended. That's why we don't own a, how those pay as you go kind of networks in Nigeria. We have DSTV, and of course DSTV means that you pay for subscription. That means you watch endless TV. We don't have the endless TV watch in our home. Most homes, when you enter, you find out that the TV is on just for the pleasure of it. No, that doesn't exist in our home because media is actually used for a purpose, and media is not using us. So that can also be you. What do you do? Right? What do you do? Balance it. Number four, there's also difficulty with real life interactions. Have you noticed that some children you see these days have a problem with social skills? So I was traveling to the US one of those days, and I was at the airport, and I met this particular woman who knew me online. And then she walks up to me with her children who were teenagers, and then she says, "Hello, coach. It's so good to see you," and all of that. And the teenagers were all plugged in with their phones, on their iPad and phones and all of that. And they didn't as much as say, "Oh, hello." And the mom felt embarrassed. And then she turns to them and saying, "Can't you see that you need to actually greet someone and all of that?" And then she goes on and on and on and on. I was like, "It's okay, ma'am." Now, I said something. I said, the truth is, we expect our children to just become socially skilled, just like that. And then so you are going to go now and say, but our parents didn't really teach us, but we had more opportunities. We had time to go out to play every evening. I don't know about you. I grew up in a community where every 5 p.m., 4:30 to 5, everybody start trickling out of their homes. Do you remember that? Is that you? Put a comment in the comment section. And we trickle out in the evenings, all of us just come out, and everybody right there, we're all having fun, we're all, playing. Our parents didn't need to teach us social skills specifically, but we learned it on the fields. I can still remember as I'm talking to you all of the things we had to do. But right now, our children do not even know who their neighbors are. So how would they learn social skills? And we don't even allow our children to do anywhere, go and do anything, go anywhere. In the inner circle, I tell the parents in the academy that all these, oh, my children will not go out, I want them to myself, and all of that. Your bedroom is too small to raise a world changer. And what happens is that your child goes out there and their child is socially incapacitated. Some of our children have, anxiety going out there. Some of them travel abroad and they can't stay because they are anxious to be in the crowd. They've developed this thing in them. The skills have not been built. So it actually deprives them of real life interactions. Now, one of the things that also happens is that it makes it hard for children to communicate effectively, express empathy, or even real social cues. They don't get it. They don't get it. And solution, prioritize face to face family time. Encourage in-person play dates. Let your children's friends come over. Practical social skills in your home. Models good conversation habits. Teach empathy. Use family games. Use family discussions to teach these things, and it's going to really bless you. Number five, there's increased defiance. Screen time increases misbehavior. Yeah, you right, help me right. Now, the problem is that children become more defiant when they are asked to put screens away, especially if they are used to unrestricted screen time. And we call it screen addiction. It's like cocaine. So your child is going to actually do anything to have access to the screen. Sometimes the children even lie, they do all sorts. I'm going to also share with you in an email how to know that your child is currently addicted to screen. So stay in our email community. Make sure that you do not subscribe. Ensure also that you subscribe to this channel because we have lots and lots of stuff for you to learn. Every Tuesday, we are live teaching you on different aspects of parenting. 2 p.m. every Tuesday, West African time. You can connect from anywhere and you can always watch replay. And solution, establish clear screen time boundaries. Let there be consequences of exceeding limits. Give 5 minutes warning. Let them make sure that this transition will happen without defiance. If your child is already addicted, right? So give them 5 minutes and say, in 5 minutes, make sure you're done with that. Don't put yourself in a power tussle with your child. That is not going to solve any problem. Number six is sleep disruptions. Now, blue light from screen can interfere with sleep. It makes it harder for your children to wind down. It leads to tiredness and irritability. You find out that because they're on the screen, awake. It's not the same thing about with being awake without watching the screen. They are two different things. Now, what do you do? Ensure that there is a screen-free rule in the last 1 hour before bedtime. In fact, in our home, we don't own televisions in the room. We do not own televisions in the room. It is a no, 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 no. So if you have a television in your room today, this is your cue. Take it out. No, it is not about you knowing what it is that you're doing. It is actually that you are probably ignorant about the effect of the blue screen in that place. Now, what do you do? Enforce a screen-free rule. Make sure that so that your children can get quality sleep. All you can do during that sleep hour, 1 hour to bedtime, is read a book. That's one of the things that we do in our home, or play soft music. That helps to actually transition sleep. Number seven, decrease interest in offline hobbies. Of course, children lose interest in activities like drawing, like playing sport, spending time, because screen provide constant stimulation and reward. There's a stimulation and reward that screen gives to you, and that is a thing. So don't get your children get drowned there. What do you do? Introduce variety of non-screen hobbies. Create family time around these activities. Reward participants in offline activities that doesn't have a screen. Never use screen as a reward. Never ever use screen as a reward. If you do this, you're a good child. I will give you this. That would mean that your child is going to attribute, screen as some kind of rewarding thing that they need to do. It's just like us growing up. Screen is like a reward. That's why you play TV all day in your home. It's just a sign that there is something that is not okay there. All right. And then number eight, there's increased exposure to inappropriate content. Problem with carefully monitoring children have access to age inappropriate content today. We have 7-year-olds becoming addicted to porn, 6-year-olds. Why? Because where they have this really access to the internet. So your children have access to the internet. A lot of things are happening and all of that. I have books called Sex Educate Your Child Like a Pro. And in that book, volume 1, 2, 3, and 4, one of the things that I do in writing parenting books is to give practical solutions of what parents can do. In Sex Educate Your Child, volume 1, 2, 3, and 4, I sessioned it and wrote about how porn can actually make a mess of your child. And one of the entry route of porn is media. Is media. What you see. And unfortunately, our children are dealing with a lot just because we're parenting them in this age. This is something that you must watch. What is the solution? Use parental controls, restrict access, create media plan, sex educate your child. One of the things that you cannot really take away is the fact that there might be times where your children will stumble on these things without you being there. When they do, what do they do? So when you sex educate them, teach them what to do, it helps them to actually know how to react. And then number nine, there's a lesson family integration, interactions, right? When your children are, screen time every time, you actually have a reduced family bonding. As children prefer their devices rather than engaging in family, they don't want to talk because they just want to be on their devices. You haven't created that bond. One of the things we do in the academy is to create what we call connection tools. That helps you to connect with your children. And most of our connection tools are practical, live one-on-one interactions. Yes, there are a few times that we have to use the screen to do a few of those tools, but in those times you are still involved hands-on with your children. And that's why a parenting academy is so key in your process of a parent. What are the things that you can do? Designate screen-free zones in our home. When it comes to the kitchen, when you're cooking in the kitchen, it's a screen-free zone. Everybody is having fun, everybody is shouting, except sometimes when we're recording what it is that we're doing, everybody is just feeling amazing in that time. Sometimes we're just dancing. That's one of the things that you can do. You can say, oh, during cooking, we're not watching devices. Oh, during family games,